Okay, I feel like I'm finally starting to get to a better place. Yo, how's it poppin'? How's it going? What it do? It's Friday. I am your host, Amans, along with Reality Recaps, and this is Fan Fridays, talking about Big Brother 19 and all of its boring mess. Okay, so a recap this season really doesn't seem to pose any real purpose because I feel like it was one of the most predictable weeks in Big Brother history, and that's saying something, seeing as how Big Brother 16 in its entirety exists. Instead of talking about how Mistletoe won HOH and had a conveyor belt of targets to go after, but chose to go after the second half of Marlena, and Mark really had to win the veto to save himself, took a bite from the tree and got a stupid ass apple, didn't win the veto, stayed on the block, everyone else really didn't have anything to say about any of his plans and pitches to save himself, and then he ends up going home. Let's just talk about Paul and everyone's obsession with him at the moment. So if anybody follows me on Twitter, you know that I am anti-Paul. Well, you know what? No, I'm not anti-Paul. Because in a season like Big Brother 19, where all we really want is strategy, he is the only player giving it to us. This season had so much potential to be, I think, one of the best seasons that we've seen in a while. Based off of the personalities that they put in that house alone, I feel like we were in for one hell of a ride. We were this close. Okay, we were this close. But then production thought that it would be a good idea to bring back someone who was undoubtedly a fan favorite last season and bring them right back in as a redemption story, as a second chance, as his moment to shine. And look, like, I'm all for redemption. I'm all for second chances. I think that everybody deserves the chance to improve. I really would have preferred if they had done this in an all-star season because it would have been interesting to see Paul's personality match up with some of the greats. But I digress. It happened. We're here. It's week 9, and now we have to deal with what's in front of us. If anyone thinks that Paul Abrahamian is not playing Big Brother this season, or that his game has no merit, I would really advise you to go all the way back to the season premiere and rewatch everything, because clearly you haven't been watching the same season. Paul has obviously taken everything into account, all of his mistakes, all of his blunders, all the things that didn't work, and he's applied them to his game this season. He's also taken a lot of the things that did work, like his social game, and carried them into this season to get to where he is right now. That being said, Paul has certainly made quite a few mistakes and errors of judgment that really haven't caught up with him at the moment, but have the potential to. He clearly has an understanding of the game that has allowed him to foster relationships and foster this environment where he can get what he wants at almost every point in the game while not pissing off any of his allies. He's also keen on using the motivations of other players to his own advantage and making sure that everyone seems pleased, everyone seems hunky-dory, everyone is getting the house target out for the week, and little old him and his long ass beard is sitting pretty like freaking like the king of the earth. As fantastically annoying as it is to watch, we just simply can't deny that he's giving us everything that we would want in a Big Brother player. The only thing that we aren't getting is the pushback. This cast has got to be the dumbest, and I mean the dumbest cast in recent seasons. I don't know how they got cast. I'm sure they're lovely people on the outside. But in terms of the game of Big Brother, it has been one of the largest shit shows I have ever had the misfortune of smelling, watching, seeing, tasting, whatever. And the players that were savvy enough to catch on to the inner workings and the inner machinations of Paul Abrahamian, those are the ones that are out of the door early. Go figure. I think a lot of the errors of judgment and a lot of the flaws in Paul's game are simply masked by the fact that the brains of those around him they're just clouded. They're foggy. They don't catch on to anything. So it really gives him a lot of wiggle room to make a lot of mistakes. A lot of you have been comparing Big Brother 19 to Big Brother 16 just with drama, in the sense that it's very predictable. We have one person running the house the entire way through, and as long as not one big upheaval arrives, they're probably going to win. And I would agree. I think that Paul is absolutely the Derek of BB19, but he's a messy Derek. He's a crazy Derek. He's a more emotional Derek. He's one that, when things aren't going his way, he doesn't know how to handle it. Derek did. And that's where so much of the frustration comes from with Paul. We all want to see somebody win this game because they earned it, because they played, and because they had people that were going against them. But when you have one person running the race, what are they racing against? But that being said, in the recent days, we do have maybe 2 other contenders that I think stand a shot of winning Big Brother 19 if they just wise up and take out the beard. Ironically, the 2 people that I believe have the most potential to win the game are the ones that are probably the farthest up Paul's ass. Alex is just so focused on the friendship image and just what that means to Paul, and how he would never go back on his word, and how he could never betray his fan base because he has bracelets, he's got t-shirts, he's in a rock band, his beard just oozes the word friendship. How could he ever turn his back on me? Really, bitch? And then you have somebody like Josh, who was convinced that because of the fact that Paul did not give him a friendship bracelet night 1, that meant that he was the ride or die. He was going to be with Paul to the very, very end. Come on. Alex has the comp wins. She has what it takes to get to the end of this game, and she could take him out. I really do believe that. Josh, on the other hand, not really so much the comp wins. I would say that he's definitely come up in the eyes of some of the jury members, and he's probably one of the more likable characters, at least in the house. Him showing emotion really, it makes him a vulnerable person, and that really allows him to create strong relationships, especially with Christmas. I think that he also has what it takes, but they just have to be wiser than they already are. But right now, I think that Paul is the most deserving of the spot that he has in the house. And if he makes it to Final 5, he will have worked his way there. If he makes it to Final 3, he will have worked his way there. And if he makes it to Final 2, there really is no question as to who should win the game, even if he was sitting next to somebody like Alex or Josh. I feel your pain for those of you that just wanted a season that was awesome, that had drama, that had strategy, that had gameplay, that had unpredictability, that felt like a true Big Brother season. But I also think, especially for those super fans out there and for those aspiring house guests, I think there's a lot to be learned by watching Paul just maneuver his way through this house. Sure, he's got a lot of advantages. The people that are in the house just aren't that bright, but I don't think that completely discredits the things that he's been doing to keep himself safe and to keep the other ones gunning at each other. It's a little disheartening that Paul is this close to having Dan Giesling's record with just about half the strategy and half the gameplay. But on the other hand, I'm not going to diminish what he has done in both Big Brother 18 and Big Brother 19. Through all of that, I will continue to be anti-Paul on Twitter. I will be calling for his head on a platter the entire way through until Final 2. If he gets to Final 2, you want to hear a peep from me, I'll be like, yes, Paul, there you go, you did it. But until then, no, he's got to go. Well, I'm hoping that next week provides us with something more to dissect and something more to chew on. I do. After the competition, after the HOH, there was a lot of game talk because of the fact that Alex and Jason went rogue and voted to evict Matt rather, and they lied to Paul about it, which is kind of surprising. That might be the beginning of something. I feel like Paul has kind of already figured out the fact that the both of them are lying, or at least Jason is lying about Alex not voting. It's a big mess right now, but it's a start. It's a start to the revolution. But until next week, that'll be it for me. Happy Friday, have a fantastic weekend, and here's to hoping that Paul's ass finally gets what's coming to him. Peace.